what does it mean to be successful? Like, really think about that. We say we want to be successful, but we don't actually sit down and picture what that really means to actually be successful. So I want you to think about it for a second and think, what does it actually mean for you to be successful? We all think of, in high school, we want to win state champion. We all want to be the state champion. It sounds good. And we want to get in a position to be able to have a scholarship, preferably D1, but we want to be able to say my college is paid for through me playing sports. And once you get that idea of what success actually is and what that looks like, what that means for you, next think about what it's going to cost you. What is the sacrifices along the way to actually get there? The early mornings, the late nights, missing out on a couple events here and there with friends, missing out a couple events here and there with your family, getting in shots on a day that you don't have practice. Coach says, "Oh, we don't have practice today. Are you still gonna go train? You still gonna work out?" Somebody have to drag it to the gym. These are all the things that it takes to be successful. And my next guest, Samaya, has gone through this. She played at Hazel Green, won multiple state championships. She's been at the highest high of what a high school athlete wants to have. On the backside of being able to say she won or earned a scholarship at D1 school, she had to overcome a couple of obstacles at a certain point. She had to wonder if it's worth it to actually get these things that she thought was going to be success. So I'm going to ask you again, what does success mean to you? Hopefully by the end of this interview, you'll be able to grasp and understand some of the costs that go into being successful. And you really understand, do you want to pay that same cost? Does it mean the same thing to you to achieve what it means to be successful? So thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy the episode. Yo, welcome into the BeBall Jones podcast. The goal of this podcast in my business is to bridge the gap, to fuel hoop dreams into impactful realities on the court and beyond. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy it. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the episode of the BeBall Jones podcast. I am here with another special guest, another hooper, and she has like a pretty impressive resume, guys. Like she can talk her talk when it comes to this resume talk. She's up there, people. But I'm not gonna get into that right now. Right now, I'm gonna introduce you guys to Miss Steele. How you doing, Miss Maya?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
I'm glad you're here, man. I want you to start this episode off just getting us aware of who we're in the presence of. Like, run us through a little bit of your resume and your career, what you've done so far with your basketball life right now.
Okay. I'm Smile Still. I've been playing basketball probably since I was like 12 or 13. So really not that long for real. I played at Hazel Green High School. It's in Huntsville, Alabama, Meridianville area. I started from my sophomore year all the way up to my senior year. Sophomore year I played with all four seniors, so I really didn't have to do that much. But when it got to junior year, we won the championship that year also. I won the state championship all 4 years at high school. When it got to my junior year, I started winning all state and, all the little accolades or whatever. And then when I got to my senior year, I won Miss Alabama and Gatorade Player of Alabama. And then I got recruited. I didn't really have that many offers, to be honest, when I first got to my senior year. And then when I committed to state, finally, colleges were calling. But at that time, I had already committed, and I was like, I'm going to stick to what the college that had been with me the whole time. So I committed there. And then I ended up, I had a pretty good year there. I did start 27 out of the 28 games, and I did pretty good. I also was playing with the 4 other seniors on the team also last year. And then I transferred here to Jacksonville State, so that's where I am now.
I like how you just kind of like almost forgot that you won state every year, and you kind of just like ran over that real fast. Like,
yeah, sometimes I do be forgetting. Like a lot of my accolades and stuff, though, I don't just like say it all the time. Like if someone asks me if I play basketball, unless they know that I've won stuff, I don't just tell them.
Why not?
I think it's because people start to just ask a bunch of questions about it, and I really just, I guess I just like to I just like to stay humble about a lot of stuff that I do. So like, yeah, that's like it's a big deal to me at the same time, but at the same time, it's like I still have more to do. Like it's what I did, and it paid off for all the work that I did put in high school. But like, I like to think of what I'm doing now. So like, I'll talk about it here and there, but I just don't just talk about it everywhere I go.
Mm, I respect that. But this is like the wrong time to be humble because I'm gonna have you talk your stuff. So
Okay,
you're gonna have to you're gonna have to come out of that for like a good 60 minutes and
okay, that'll be straight.
just let everybody know like, yo, I am her. Like I've done all these things. Like y'all gotta get on my level. Maybe not to that extreme, but somewhere along them lines was just like letting people know who you are for real, for real. Because a 4-time state champ isn't anything to just gloss over. I'm not saying that from like an arrogant standpoint, but just from like
Yeah,
how many people can say that? Like how many people
yeah,
can say they made it to state, let alone to Final Four or that level, regionals or whatever. Like a lot of players can't say they did that in their 4 years, let alone be at that place and to win 4 times. So like I wish I could have looked that up. Like how many players can say they've done that? And that's like probably historic on its own. Um, when you think about it from that perspective, what does that mean to you?
When I think about it like that, it does mean a lot, but also I feel like all the work that we did put in at Hazel Green, like winning 4 state championship, that was the outcome you wanted. Like if I didn't win like this championship, I feel like that whole season would have been like a waste of time for me. Because it was like
Mm,
that was our outcome. Like when we would win regionals and final fours, like if you would have been at the games when we won it, you know how like other teams when they win those like Final Four regional games, it's like still like a lot of them are crying or whatever. It's just like we go to the next thing because like that wasn't like what our big outcome was for us. So I think
mm,
also like by my second time, I got used to like okay, this is a regional and the Final Four. That's just a game. It's just a
mm.
regular game. Like the big picture was the championship for us, but yeah, like being able to say that I didn't win 4 state championships is like I do love being able to say that because I know a lot of people didn't.
So the culture at Hazel Green, I know it got to be different because y'all like it's ridiculous what y'all doing up there.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so much different, and I think that I didn't really appreciate it until I did get away from it and come to college and
mm,
like experience, all the different people that came from different other high schools that didn't have the same culture as us. Like sometimes that gets really hard because it's like I have ingrained in me like how it works and how it's supposed to be like to get to that place and how easy it is, and then other
mm,
people are coming from different places where it's like they were by themselves and doing it by themselves. Like as a team, our team like really knew their roles and took it on, and we like cared for each other, like actually cared for each other all the time. So I feel like that family base, it really helped it. So like going to last year at Alabama State, it was so hard for me because as a freshman, I have been playing starting as a point guard for Coach Miller 3 years out of my 4 years and playing with him my whole 4 years. So like as a freshman going to a new system with a new coach with new players that came from all everywhere, like that really mentally it was so hard because it was like, dang, like you can
mhm,
really see that culture and how tight your team is and everything like that takes a big toll on you. So I really didn't
mhm,
appreciate it until I did get away from it. And I'm like, I really wish I could go back and still play like how we played at Hazel Green. But it was a learning experience, and I'm glad that I understand like how a culture should be though, because it's like I can take that with me.
mm. Explain Hazel Green culture and what you learned from your coach and everything up there.
Well, I would explain it. It's a family, like down to from the players to Coach Miller to the parents. They all it's everything's a family. Like the parents have to help just as much as we are, and they understand how much we have to be at practice, how much we were at practice, and they let Coach Miller do what he needed to do, and then we had to buy in. And I feel like that like goes with a lot. Like it once the parents, like they kind of just give us to Coach Miller. It's like at the same time, okay, our parents are understanding, so at the same time,
Mhm,
we're just have to buy in at the same time. And once you finally buy in and understand like what he's trying to do how he talks to you and like what he's really meaning, everyone
Mm-hmm.
like just gets on one accord, like it's one system, like everyone's on one system really at Hazelgreen. It's like you're just with your sisters. You know what they're gonna do, you know what you're gonna do, you have their back through everything, even outside of the court. Like we hung out with each other outside of the court. We didn't have any other friends for real. Well, we did, but we didn't talk to them or hang out with them. So it's like we're with each
Mm-hmm.
other all the time. And I feel like that's a big thing while playing on the court too. You have to have that bond for real, for outside of just not just on the court, but outside of the court. So like when you do get on the court, I know she has my back. I know she's there for me. I know she's gonna do this. I know she knows how I know how to play and how what I'm gonna do in this situation. So I feel like the culture at Hazel Green, it's just family. Everything about it is family.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, that's what Hazel Green had. When you got to state and it wasn't like that, how how were you able, or what did you do to try to ingrain some of that at state?
Okay, so when I first got to state, I can definitely say I was very quiet and I guess you could say timid, but I think it was more because I was looking at it as I'm 18 years old. What am I going to do telling a 25-year-old what to do? Like
Yeah.
how it's supposed to be. And that really got to me. And also I'm a point guard, so it's like I'm supposed to be telling them what to do and how to do it, but like that, it got really
Mhm.
hard for me at the same time. So and then it got to the point where Coach Jackson would like tell me, hey, you came from a winning system, you know how you're supposed to do. Like you have to tell people. But I think that was the hardest thing for me. And it's still kind
Mhm.
of hard for me now at the school I'm at now because it's like I'm new and I'm also still the youngest on the team. So it's
Mhm.
like at some points, it's like I know I should be saying this or I could be saying this to help, but it's like at the same time, are they really going to listen? Do people want to listen? And then so
Mhm.
that gets really hard, and that's how it really was at state because some would listen, and some really. So
Mhm.
I think at the same time, you just had to every when you get to like this level, not everybody is gonna be willing to listen. So I feel like it takes pieces. So if you can get one person, then people will follow. So one person at a time, two people. So I think last year it was just the people that I knew I was going to play with the most. I just had to really learn how they were going to play. They had to learn how I was going to play. And I tried to talk to
Mhm.
them as much as I could outside, build that bond outside of just off the outside of the court so they knew who I was as a person. So it's like when I'm talking to you a certain way, you know how I'm saying it and what I really meant by it and stuff like that. But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's so much harder in college. It's just a bunch of different females coming from all over different places, and so everyone has their own experiences from high school, and so they come in with a different mindset, and so it's hard sometimes to get everybody to buy in, I feel like.
Do you feel like you were kind of I don't want to say handicapped, that's probably like the best I could think of right now. Kind of handicapped with the way Hazel Green was as far as the expectations you all had. So you had a certain expectations, like it was championship or nothing else. And the system was kind of built up for you and you guys kind of had a clear understanding from one year to the next. Yes, you had
Yeah,
players graduate and move, whatever, but you still understood, okay, this piece moves here, she's gonna do this now. And so you didn't have to do as much. Do you feel like that possibly handicapped you moving into college?
honestly, yeah, after when I first got to state, and I think I had a conversation with my dad, and I was like, I really feel like since I was young and I did start off with them older players, like I knew what I was supposed to do. And I didn't
Mhm.
have to like not that I didn't have to work and build my own way through all of it, but it was like I had a role model in front of me to show me, okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. And this is what you're
Mhm.
supposed to do. So as I got older, I was the role model in front of all of them. So like it was like I knew what I was supposed to do. They knew what they were supposed to do because I've been doing it for so long. So when I did get to college, I did feel like it was like starting all over again with, but this time with older people, but it's like at the same time, sometimes they didn't know what they were doing. So it's like now I'm
Mhm.
really just kind of going on my own, how I did stuff at Hazel Green, but not at the same time having to do stuff the way that I like the coach in college is wanted or how my teammates in college do things. So yeah, I
Mhm.
feel like at first it was really big like it was really big for me, and it was hard to transition, especially Hazel Green. I think I lost 3 games the whole time I've been at Hazel Green. So when we started losing in college, I was like, I don't know how to take this. Like I don't like this isn't for me. I don't. And so that took such a toll on me. I remember when we were at I was at State SWAC. We were playing all these State plays all these big schools. Like we played Texas, Texas Tech, Mississippi State, Auburn, like all back to back. And we were just losing. And mind you, and now I never lost, but we were losing by 30, 20. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to take it. I remember calling my mom one day. I was just crying. I was like, Mom, I have never felt the way I feel right now losing. And I was like, I kept telling her, I was like, I wish I was back at Hazel Green. And she was like, it's just a learning process. And like now when we lose, I'm like, okay, I know this is getting us better for, when we play our conferences or our next game or whatever. But my freshman year, no, I think I wanted to quit so fast. Because at Hazel Green, even if we did win, we still were learning from what we did because we knew we could have done better. But it's like when I first started hitting all them L's, I was like, this is just so new to me. I didn't know how to comprehend or how to make my mind like wrap around it.
I think it's funny, but it's not funny. Because you hear of guys who had a similar experience, and it's like they went to some program like a Gonzaga or Villanova, and similar experience where you might have lost like 5 games all season, and then you're a high pick, so you end up going to one of the worst teams in the league, and the next thing you know, it's a 10-game losing streak, and then you get a couple wins, and it's a 5-game losing streak, and it's like, bro, we just lost many games in a row that I just lost in college altogether in my 4 years.
Yeah.
Explain that feeling. Like, how did you feel to like have a losing streak that equaled the amount of losses that you had in 4 years? How did that feel though?
I honestly, the worst. Like I like, and then I would go back to thinking I understand how those teams felt every time they had to play us, because I was like, I hate this because in high school it's like whatever, they lost, they'll play
Yeah.
again. But no, it's like I could not get used to that. I finally did get used to it. It's like, okay, I know we're gonna play again. But it's like since I had never lost before, just L after L after L, and then people from home would text me, "Hey, y'all won." I hated texting them, "No, we lost." I hated sending that because I never have done that before. And then having to tell them scores, I was like, don't even ask me. I was like, I just can't. So at one point, every time after the game, I'd just be like, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Somebody, you're playing again. You're playing again. You're playing again. You're playing. I just had to keep reminding myself, you're going to play again. You're going to play. And then when you lose, it's like you only look at the negative things that happen in the game instead of, we did do good in these parts. And it's like when you win, you can look at the positive more. But I feel like now, though, since I've played more in college, it's like, okay, we did lose, but we are getting better. Like, it's progress. But last year, no, definitely. But I still don't like just losing game after game after game, because I still don't like that. But I feel like I have gotten mentally stronger at, okay, it's a loss, but you're just gonna live. Because no, I feel like athletes don't just like, taking an L is so hard because I feel like you just put in so much work to just go lose. And I think that was the thing. Like, I'm putting in all this work and we're going to lose by 50, 40, 30. Like, no, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, you got me when you say this is what the other teams must feel like. That's funny, man. Cause
Yeah, I did. I thought about that. I think I talked to my teammate when she was still at Hazel Green, and I was like, I feel bad for them teams that we be beating like that, because on the other side, like, no, then you don't want to tell nobody. I didn't even care how good the team we played was. Like, when we played Texas, I know they're so good, but like, I still did not even want to tell them the score to that game. I was like, I don't even care how good they are.
yeah, I think that's it's funny, but I can understand, and I think it's honestly a good thing. Because you going back to the league, you have a lot of guys who, like I said before, they come full of a Villanova or whoever, and they're used to winning. Then they get in a situation where it's not winning, the exact opposite. And for right now, you're still young. This is like, a year and a half, I guess you can say, removed from Hazel Green. And
Mhm.
so to be at this point now and to still have the mindset is the most important thing, because you can get in that new culture, that new environment, and it's like you that's kind of like your average now. That's like the Hazel Green expectations was here and your mindset is still here. But being down here in this culture with L after L can get your mindset back down. So how did you like not let your mindset dip to where this is my new norm and expectations?
Um, I think okay, well, last year I got into a funk after we started losing and I was like, "You know what? This is just what it is." But then I remember talking to my mom and she was like, learning to lose is better because then when you win, you're going to appreciate it more." And I was like,
Mhm.
you know, that is so true. And I think I just had to learn to, okay, we're playing so much better competition, I guess, like I would say. So it's at the same time I know what it takes for us to win. So it's just
Mhm.
every game. It was just that part of getting closer to, okay, I know what it takes, and we're getting closer to the goal of what it takes, so I know we could do better. And every game last season I could say we as a team we were getting so much better, like movement, talking to each other, everything. So it was just little by little, and I think it's just having the patience to understand that it's
Mhm.
a process and it's going to come, because at Hazel Green, everybody, there was always older people ahead of you that knew what they were doing. So if only one or two people had to just come in and buy in, that's so much easier than 13 new people coming from different areas. So I had to just think about, okay, if me and two other people came from like winning programs and they know how it takes, that's so much harder than only three people knowing it versus seven of us knowing it and only two people having to
Yeah.
learn it. So I
Yeah.
just had to tell myself, like, it is a process.
Mhm. Talk to me about the work that went in at Hazel Green, because you mentioned it twice about the work that went behind the success and the culture that went into it. Describe the work to me that went into all that success.
Well, we practiced with Coach Miller. I would say like sometimes 4 3 hours. I think if we got out under 2 hours, that was like amazing. It was like, oh, it's amazing. And then we'd have to go in the mornings not with him. We'd have to have practices not with him. And that kind of got to, that was a regular for me. Like he didn't have to really like say when we need to go in by ourselves. At some point it just got to, y'all, we're going in, we're doing this. On the weekends we'd be there. On our off days we'd be there. So it was never really an off day at Hazel Green. It felt like a job for real. And so like um if they could add the college rules to high school, that's what they need to do, because Coach Miller would keep us in the gym all day for real if he could. But I think it just got to also where we'd work so much at the same time though. Coach Miller wouldn't really have to yell as much. He wouldn't have to tell us like all this stuff, because
Mhm.
we knew what was expected at the same time. So it was like we were in the gym 24/7 with him or without him. It was just all day, every day. If a regular student walked past and they knew it was us in the gym. The boys know it's us in the gym. They go to
Mhm.
practice, be out of practice, and we be practicing before them still be in practice. So it was
Mhm.
just like we just stay all day, every day, stay an hour after practice because we got to do some more stuff and we can't leave till we finish this, finish that. But I'd say it paid off. It definitely paid off. So that's why I said if we didn't win the championship, I told them my senior year, if we didn't win, I would stay in my room the whole rest of school, because that would have been just like a whole waste of time for real. It was just so much.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I probably, yeah, no. Would have been terrible.
Hey, hold on. Time out real quick. We're gonna get back to the episode. I know you're enjoying it. I know you're enjoying the show. But I need you to help me real quick and to make sure that this episode can grow, make sure this podcast and show can grow overall, and you can keep getting great guests like this. Make sure that you subscribe and follow along. So if you watch right now on YouTube, help me out by hitting the subscribe button. Go ahead and do it real quick. If you're listening in your car, chill out for a second. If you're on Apple or on Spotify, just like when you get a moment, hit the follow button, but not right now while you're driving. If you're working out or something, Are you still in your room? Then go ahead and subscribe with me. Like, help me help you. Okay. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. I'm gonna stop interrupting. Let's get back to the episode. Thank you. I'm gonna say that question for the end. Um, yeah, 'cause that's interesting. Talk to me about your leadership though throughout this. Like you said before, sophomore year, you were starting with seniors, and then you ran into that situation again at state. Talk to me about your leadership from freshman and sophomore year, beginning out with that, as the PG, running the game, and how did you develop and grow and change to where you are right now?
Like start from high school.
Yeah, so when you were the freshman and
Okay,
sophomore in high
so
school, how did it, develop?
freshman year, I played both JV and varsity. So, my freshman year, I didn't really have to say that much when I was on varsity because it was still like, okay, she's the baby of the team. But then when it got to my sophomore year, I was playing with 4 seniors. So I still didn't really have to say that much. But at the same time, I was still having to direct the team because I was a point guard. So I feel like they
Mhm,
made that easier for me because they allowed me to talk and allowed me to tell them stuff. So by my junior year, the team was still older than me my junior year because all of them were still seniors when I was a junior. But
mhm,
I feel like that year is when I had to take over, so it's easier. But I feel like also in practice, Coach Miller will say stuff to you, but in practice, it's more of us talking to each other and us telling each other what's wrong. The most Coach Miller would say to you is take off, run. If you messed up, go run. Or most of that. But as like for him coaching in practice, it's us saying something. If somebody has an attitude, we have to say something to them. If somebody's doing this, we have to say something to them. And if we're not saying anything, that's when we get in trouble the most. So I feel like in practice and being able to hold your teammate accountable in practice and then listen to you, it helped so much more when you got in the game. And being able to talk in practice like that and someone be able to say something back to me, it was much easier because they trust me, I trust them, and I feel like it just went hand in hand. So by senior year, it was easy. And I feel like
mhm,
everyone also respected. I feel like I had that respect as a teammate and as a player for Coach Miller and as a teammate for my teammates that it was easy for them to just listen. And then when I got to my freshman year, it's like, okay, everybody has accolades, everybody has this, everybody has that. And it was a little hard my freshman year of college because Coach Jackson would like always say everything that I had done, and so I feel like at the same time, I was like, ugh, I don't always want them just to think of me like that. I just want to be their teammate. And so at first it was kind of hard, but I feel like with that team by like the middle of the year, they also like as a person, they really respected me and they understood, and they also could say things to me at the same time. So by middle of the year, I was able to step up more and say things more, but it still was
mhm,
hard for me because I am a people pleaser really bad. And I don't like confrontation and I don't like when my teammates are arguing. I don't like when they don't like me. So being in college, it was really hard because like that's all day, every single day. And so it's like sometimes I was like, I can't say anything. And then here,
mhm,
right now, I would say I don't really be saying that much for real. Like I still have my moments where I'll have my opinion and I'll say it here and there, but it's not in like
mhm,
that way that it would be at Hazel Green. And I know that it should be like that. And I should like, say some more stuff here and there. But at the same time, I told you I'm like a people pleaser. So if I say something and it seems like someone like didn't like that or had an attitude, I'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything again. So it's
mhm,
really just that part of me, like right now, still, if nobody's liking you because you're saying something, you just have to get over it because on the court, it's going to be on the court. Outside of the court, it's going to be like outside of the court. But again, that goes
mhm,
back to that family culture. Like at Hazel Green, it was that
mhm,
family culture, and we're sisters. And so I say something to you when we get off the court, you're still not thinking about that. But when you get to like another level and different people have been around different areas and maybe at their school they didn't like each other, it's different. So it's like if I say something, I feel like sometimes people will take it off the court and oh, they're still mad. I said that to them on the court. But it's like I'm not
mhm,
thinking about it anymore. But I think it just goes back to that culture thing and how him like ingrained in us like how it's supposed to be as a team, a family, and stuff like that.
Mm. Describe your leadership style. It sounds a little unique, I can say, because you have the people pleaser side, but then you do have. I think it's because the Hazel Green culture is in you that you have to speak up and say something. So describe your leadership style to me, and like what are you doing now to keep growing it and enhancing it?
I would say I have a very one-on-one leadership style. Like I feel like to me, I speak to people how they want to be spoken to. Like if you
Mhm,
don't like being like me forceful speaking to you, I won't. But if you need someone to, hey, you're not doing good. Hey, do this, do that. I can do that at the same time. So it's like just however people take it is how I usually give it. And then and I'm not just like a loud, I'm gonna yell at you, I'm gonna cuss you out. I've never been like that. And for a
mhm,
while, like my junior year, that's what Coach Miller wanted. He'd bring me in the office to be like, "Why don't you ever cuss somebody out?" No, I'm like, Coach Miller, I don't do that. I'm not like that. But by the middle of the year,
mhm,
he like knew, and it's really also like it's more of a, hey, come on, like you can do it. You know how to do it. We saw you do it in practice. But it can get to like a point where it's like I do become like not that positive, soft, like, always nice and can go to a different woman. That's kind of when I just start getting annoyed. But most of the
mhm.
time it's just like I just keep it simple, calm. Hey, you could do this, do that, or you should have done that, or you could have done. It's more like I would say just calm. I've never been
Mhm.
just that type to just I boss because I don't really like that because I just would how someone would speak to me and how I would respond is just I feel like how I kind of lead a team at the same time. But I also feel like it takes me a minute because I have to get comfortable like around the people that I'm talking to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think leadership is very tricky. A lot of people talk about it, but it's still very difficult to actually like apply it and know how to do it because you can say you need to do X, Y, and Z, but then you get in a situation you have to actually do it. Now it's kind of weird because you got different people you have to kind of bend to, and like it's so weird. And
Yeah.
I think it was Gary Vee. He said this. He was like, people try to talk about people please like it's a bad thing, but it's actually a really good thing as a leader. Of course, like he's talking about in a business sense, but I think it can apply in basketball too. That you want the people that's working for you or working with you and around you to be pleased. And as the leader, it's your job to make sure that they have a level of enjoyment
Yeah.
throughout the journey, throughout the process. But at the same time, within basketball, uh, some of the best leaders have a jerk side to them too. So Jordan, Chris Paul, Kobe, like they're at your neck about a level, like a standard we're going to hold ourselves to. And we can patch it back later, but we're not accepting A, B, and C. We're not going to do A, B, and C. And I think that's the weird blend that we all have to kind of figure out of the standard we're going to hold, and also making sure everybody's okay on the journey too.
Yeah, I feel
And it
like
sounds like you're kind of in that space.
Yeah, I feel like as leader, you really do need to be respected, and I feel like the people that you are having to like, lead, tell what to do, they need to be able to say stuff to you also, and they need to be able
Yeah.
to. Everybody has to be on the same page. It's hard to lead. It's hard to be a leader when everybody's not on the same page because you could be saying something, but if they are not even on the same track as you, it's not even applying to
Mhm,
them. They're not even listening. So
mhm,
that's kind of what it's been like in college. It's like my dad, he's always telling me like you're a natural leader. It's just what it's always been. And I've just been telling him like it's hard, but I think I'm starting to realize it's hard because not everybody's on the same page. It was easy to lead at
mhm.
Hazel Green. It wasn't easy, but it was easier because everybody is on that same page. Everybody knows what they are supposed to be doing. It's just you are helping people stay in track of, this is the line and this is what we're staying on.
Yeah. So how can you apply that now and to make sure everybody's on the same page and going the right direction?
Again, I think I think now it just takes one at a time. It takes people like okay, I know that these 3 people trust me enough to listen. These 3 people can also say something to me. We have that relationship enough to, okay, if I can get one at a time, more people will start coming.
Mhm.
More people will start doing this. And I just feel like it takes time and it takes energy. It takes a lot. And so I think that's the big thing. And I think last year and this year, half of me is like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing and I need to do it
Mhm.
to, like, help people do this and that. But the other half of me is like, I don't want to go back to having to lead all of them people, because in Hazel Green, I it just like, what I was the person. I had to do everything. I had to make sure everything was okay. And that was so stressful. Like, it was days I just go home and cry, because it was like everybody's emotions and how they're feeling are stuck on me too, because I'm the
Mhm.
only person asking, hey, are you okay? Hey, why are you doing this? Hey, is this and this and this? And then it also got to the point where Coach Miller would lean on me to do all of that stuff. I'm the first person he calls, hey, why are they acting like this? Hey, why didn't they do good in practice? It even got to like school, to their household, like all of that. And so I feel like Hazel Green has also like kind of changed the way that I feel when I got to college, because it was like, I don't want to do that again. Like, I don't want to have to go through all of that again. And so when I was at state, and I was going through that little patch of losing, and I wasn't used to that, and I wasn't used to people not liking me, and I wasn't used, well, I know people didn't like me in Hazel Green, but I wasn't used to like my teammates not like, being there for me 24/7. And I wasn't used
Mhm.
to, okay, I need to check on these people, but also at the same time, I'm struggling. So it was like, I just
Mhm.
didn't want to go through all of that again. So Hazel Green also like added stress to me in ways that I didn't realize. Like, because now I will look at things completely different, or I will already be stressing about something on the court or outside of the court with my teammates, because I knew how it was at Hazel Green. And all that pressure that was on me at Hazel Green, like, still, like, to this day is always with me, and it's always like causing extra stress. And at state, like, I feel like that was a big cause too, because I would still hear like Coach Miller in my head saying like, you should need to do this, you need to help this person, you need to help this, you need to help this. And I was still trying to worry about myself too. As a freshman, and I'm in college in a new environment, I'm still trying to have to handle basketball too. And at the same time, Coach Jackson was still putting that title of, Samaya, you're leading the team, you need to help lead the team. And I was like, I'm just 18. So it got really hard. And I did like I got so depressed. Like, I would not come out of my room. I started having bad anxiety. I would have anxiety attacks like 24/7. If I had to go to practice, if I woke up and I had to go to practice, I would have an anxiety attack. If I had to be on the court, I would have an anxiety attack. It just got really bad, because I think in the back of my head, I was still thinking of everything from Hazel Green and having to put
Mhm.
everything that I learned to what I'm learning now. And it was just really hard.
Mm. That is a lot. Can I give you like a something to think about,
Yeah.
kind of moving forward? How much do you know about Kobe? Like, I'm a big Kobe guy. So how much do you like?
Probably not as
Are you
much as
kind of
you,
familiar with
if
Kobe?
you.
All right. So there's a tale of two Kobe's. There's two different Kobe's in his career. I know it's 8 and 24 Kobe, but 8 Kobe was a little bit more arrogant, a little bit more driven of self. Nothing wrong with that, but he was in a position where he could do that. After Shaq left, he was in a position where uh, I'm gonna get here, and I don't care if you guys come with me, but I'm gonna get here, and it's gonna be done one way or another. And I fall into line with that. I'm not the best leader, because I do subscribe to like um, the goal has to get done, the job has to be done,
Mm-hmm.
and whether you're with me or not doesn't bother me, because this thing
Mm-hmm.
has to get done. So like when it comes to the podcast, if you don't want to record, cool. I'm figuring something out to get the job done. When it comes to basketball, I need to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's cussing you out, patting you on the back, kissing your knee, kissing your boo boos, all right, whatever. But we're gonna get this job done. If you don't want to sacrifice and put in the work, I don't care. I'm gonna put in extra shots regardless, with or without you. And over time, he adapted to say, well, this hasn't been working. It's pretty tough. It's a lot on me to do. So let me trust Derek Fisher. Let me trust Lamar Odom. Let me trust Pau Gasol and start to open up a little bit more and tweak my leadership style. And then from there, he started to soften up some and readjust how he led. And I know you said you're uncomfortable with conflict and having those conversations, but I want you to take that first half of Kobe and say the job has to get done. I don't want to lose. So if that means me having this conversation to get the job done, then so be it. Because the Hazel Green winning held a level of standard, and you have to hold yourself to that standard now of saying, if I want to win, this is what I have to do now. And that means you adapt and adjust to like, okay, if that means I walk to get to the finish line, would I get on a bike to ride the finish line? Doesn't matter. I need to get to the finish line. And so just like a little 2 cents on that, man. I'm not saying, because I'm not perfect with either. I struggle with conflict because I'm introverted. I don't really like start trouble. I'm same as you. Have a people pleaser thing to me, and I'll work alone 10 times out of 10 if I can. But I understand the bigger picture of a win for the team is a win for me too. And so just my little 2 cents on that, man. It's just like adapt to where the end goal is the end goal. Once we get a line on that end goal being here, how we get there, as long as we're held to this standard, it doesn't matter how we get there at this point. So we're not going to sink below this standard of what we do and who we are, but how we get there might change. Because you know some games, you win it by defense, or you win it by this player scoring. And like for you individual, you might score versus assist or play defense or whatever. As long as you win, you don't care. Like it's a dub. Like, hey, you feel me? Like we just won. It doesn't matter. So same thing with leadership. I'll challenge you to like think about it like that too. So find that space of this is the end goal, whether it's patting you on the back or having that tough conversation one-on-one. Get that out there because you want to win more than you want to like be in that comfort zone of I don't want to speak up or I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that. So just like my little 2 cents on that, man, if I can help you out a little bit.
Yeah, you sound just like my dad. Exactly. He just gave me that speech literally the other day.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, so I don't know.
Oh, I think it's a good thing. It's wise words.
Okay, I'll take that then. I appreciate that. You mentioned your kind of how like your mental health started to kind of take a hit at some point, dealing with the stress and the pressure of Hazel Green and everything that went on there, and you didn't want to go back into that moving into college.
Yeah.
What was like the toll on you? What was your mental health like while you were in high school?
So my sophomore year, I went home crying to my mom every single day, I think. Every single day. Because I had never experienced, I feel like, a coach like Coach Miller. And I was still young. Sophomore, what are you, like 14, 13, 14, 14, 15, something like that. So I was still trying to like understand, okay, is basketball this serious to me where I want to go through putting in all this work, not having a social life, not having like all I have time to do is go home, do my homework. I don't have anything else. Like I have to make time for that. So sophomore year it was hard. Junior year I feel like I started getting a little better. It was oh no. Junior year I tore my meniscus. So I was not able to practice for like the whole summer. So I was scared. I was like, okay, this is the year we're gonna mess it up. This is the year we're not gonna, because at that point I think it was still three times in a row that Hazel Green had won. So when I tore it, I kind of went down mentally because I was thinking of what would come. And I wasn't like just in the present. So when I came back, I worked like 10 times harder. I got back. We ended up winning that year. Senior year, it was me and I think 3 freshmen and a senior. And no, something. They were all younger than me. And it was still added pressure of winning, pressure of being perfect, pressure of doing this, pressure of doing that, pressure of all of this. And I feel like at the same time, in high school, I was worried about everybody else and how they would perform, and how if they didn't perform good, it was going to be my fault. If they didn't do this, it was going to be my fault. Everything was going to be my fault. And if like they weren't doing good mentally, it's my fault because Samaya, you haven't checked on them. Samaya, you haven't done this. So
Mm.
I kind of got to a point where I put everybody ahead of me. Everybody was ahead of me. I mean, in basketball, I would still go in. I would still do what I had to do to I would get my extra shots up. I would get my extra workouts in and stuff. But at the same time, I was still like, hey, you need to come with me. It was always me worried about someone else and what they had to do. So it was always just me thinking about, hey, I already know they're going to ask me to do this, so let me just go ahead and do it. It was me always thinking about somebody else and what I could be helping somebody else with. It was never me. So when I got to college, I was still like that because I had been doing it for so long. And in
Mm.
my senior year, I had like signs of anxiety, but it wasn't ever really bad. Like, I get stressed out and I'd freak out and stuff, but it was just like, okay, I'm just stressing. And my mom didn't really know that much about it at that time. So she really thought it was just, I'm stressing because I was always in the gym with my team. Coach Miller's really hard on you, so it was just like the basic, just, athlete. So
Mhm.
it wasn't really big. And, at that time, see, nobody really talked about like athletes' mental health that big. It just started getting like
Mhm.
popular like a year ago or 2 years ago. So when I got to college, it was still the same way. I put everybody before me, and basketball was before me. Everything was before me. So it got to a point where when we were losing, and I was still putting everybody before me, it was like I'm not doing my job anymore. We're losing, so I'm not succeeding at my
Mm.
job anymore. Because when I did my job good, we were winning. So it was like I felt that
Mm.
I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So what is my point of playing if we're losing? I can't help for us to win. So I just felt like I wasn't doing anything right. So it got to the point where I like told my mom, I was like, I really I don't have the love for this sport that much to just keep coming here and having to be perfect for everybody while I'm coming back and crying every day. I'm coming back and stressing myself out when I'm by myself, but I have to go put on a smile in front of everybody else because I'm that person people look at to keep them motivated, to keep them happy, to push them and keep going. And so that got really hard for me. So I just started having anxiety attacks because I was always like thinking I had to be perfect. I always thought that I needed to be helping somebody else when really I needed my help myself. So anxiety led to depression.
Mm.
I would sit in my room. I would sit in my room all day until I had to go to the gym. When I was in the gym became a trigger for me. Like when I would walk into the gym, at one point
Mm.
I would have panic attacks every time I went in. Like I would have to go and calm myself down before I just started freaking out because the gym became just such a trigger point for me because it was like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be good at, and it's helping the team win. So then the losses really took like a toll on me because it was like it just felt like that's what my purpose was, to help a team win. I have to be perfect. I have to make sure everybody else is okay. So in college I just got hard and it just sent me into a big depression. I was depressed for like months. I one day my mom just came and got me. I had to go home. I went to the doctor. I actually had to get put on medicine for my anxiety because it had just gotten so bad. And so that's really a big reason why I had to leave state because, just a new environment I feel like was best for me at the time. Like it was really nothing wrong with state. It was just like at my freshman year just was not a good start for me. And so, and like, sometimes you just have to take yourself out of an environment and start over. So I feel like this year
Mhm.
has been a lot better. Like I don't like the losing, but I feel like I control my mental space better to know that okay, we're losing, but it's not all my fault. Yeah, I don't have to be perfect all the time. Like I don't have to be that way, and I don't just because someone else is doing something like it's not my fault. And I feel like that's a big thing that I did. I can say that is a negative thing that I did get from Hazel Green is I always thought I had to be on top, A plus, being perfect, making sure everyone else is perfect, that I never really got that chance to understand myself and understand and tell myself mentally, like, you don't have to be that way.
Mm. When your mom came and got you, was that your mental rock bottom for you?
Yeah, I remember I was sitting in my room. I think that week I had had a panic attack every single day. But it was we had played. I think we played maybe on like a Monday, and I was doing amazing in our game. Like I think at halftime I had 16 something points. And when we went to the locker room, I just had a panic attack, and I was like, everything's great. Like the game's going well. Like I didn't know what was wrong, but it was really because I never take I know I don't take breaks enough for myself to really like be in the moment. So it was like I was pushing everything. I was pushing everything that I was feeling to the back. I was pushing everything. I was like, somebody, just play, just play, just play, knowing like I didn't feel good about myself, knowing that I wasn't doing anything. So after that moment, I think every single day that week, I had an anxiety attack or something was wrong. It was like something kept going wrong. And then we played Jackson State, and we
Hmm.
lost. We lost really bad, really bad. And so when we lost that game, it just kept going down. And so I think it was maybe 2 more days, and my one of my teammates that came in my room, and I couldn't even talk to her. Like every word I would try to say, I would just break down. And I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what it is. So my mom had just called my coach, and she was like, I'm coming to get her because I couldn't answer the phone for my parents. I didn't want to talk to them. I didn't want to be around anyone, talk to anyone, because I couldn't understand what was wrong with myself. And I'm
Hmm.
also the type of person where I don't like people thinking there's something wrong with me, because I don't want people to think they have to help me because I am the helper. So at that point, it was like my mom didn't know what to do because I'm not responding well. I'm not responding to anybody because it's like I can fix myself. And so, but I couldn't. I couldn't. And I think that's what was making it worse. So yeah, when she did come and get me, that's when it was like just I was at the worst I've ever been. I never, like, I would never want to be like that again. And so yeah, when she did come get me, that's when I just had to go to the doctor and stuff. And I would say that it's gotten so much better. But yeah, and that's when I really like that's when it really hit me, like this mental health is so frail, because you would think like the person that is always like, perfect, great, that's the people that really be struggling, because it's just hard because you don't want people thinking there's something wrong with you. And then when I was having the anxiety attacks, and I was sad, I was like, I don't want to sound crazy. I don't want people thinking I'm crazy. Like that's just the word that kept coming in my head is crazy. People are gonna think you're crazy. You're this. You have all this great stuff going for you. I mean, I'm in college. I'm getting my college paid for. I did all of that stuff in high school. You have all these names behind you. What do you have to be upset for? What do you have to be stressing for? And that's all that kept running through my head all the time. So
I remember thinking through what is failure. And like you hear a lot of failures and stuff. People say this person a fail or this team failed. And at some point, they say one of the greatest fears is the fear of failure. And I thought about that one day, and I was thinking through how I failed a lot. I messed up a lot of times, and I wasn't afraid of it. And I really thought through the times I was kind of like worried about the failure, and it wasn't the failure itself. It was how other people would look at me because of the failure. It
yeah,
was the public fear of failure. The private fear of failure is nothing. That's
yeah,
I mess up something. All right, cool. Nobody saw that. Whatever. But then you mess up publicly. Now it's the judgment or the shame or the opinions coming at you. Now is where that fear actually comes from. And I feel like blending the people pleaser in you with the standard and pressure you felt from Hazel Green and the habits you kind of built up with your leadership all kind of came to a point where you were like, you don't know how to function and how to move now. So the losses or that failure wasn't the losses itself wasn't a thing, but
yeah.
because you internalized everything is what kind of put you to that state. So at what point, or not what point, but like what was the thing that you started to do to like, okay, let me climb myself out of this hole now into readjust things so I can start moving forward now?
Well, I would say um coming back was still hard because now it's everybody knows what was wrong with me. So now everybody's just like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And so coming back was hard.
Hmm.
I would say that I feel like the medicine that I did have to take at the same time, it did help more. But at the same time, I found things outside of basketball, like to be my let go, to be that, hey, Samaya, you don't have to be perfect. And it also got to the point where I had to I got really close with one of my teammates last year. And I had to tell her, like, I had to tell her exactly how I feel, exactly how things make me feel. So when I did get to that point, she could just remind me. Because sometimes I just feel like I do need that reminder. Somebody, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be like that. And it would just calm me down, like, you're right. Because it is that perfect, and I don't like people thinking that I'm messing up. You're right with the failure. Like,
Hmm.
it was more of people are thinking I'm messing up, not me. Because okay, I mess up. Okay, whatever, I'll fix it. But someone else
Hmm.
thinking I mess up, it's so much different. So it was like
Hmm.
I just needed that reminder. So you don't have to be perfect. And I did last year during that time. I feel like I had to get closer with God myself, and mentally that changed a lot for me too. So I would say getting closer with him helped, and I just had to find something else to do outside of basketball because it was basketball, school, my room. That's all I did when I first got to
Hmm.
school. That's all it was. So it was like a circle that those were the school and basketball is what stresses me out, but that's all that I did. That's all that I was around. So I never got out of the circle of everything that was piled on top of me to just relax. So I think that was a big thing that I had to do too when I came back, was just
Hmm.
I not always revolve myself around the court and my teammates and all of that stuff.
Did you change anything basketball wise, like anything with the teammates or anything like that?
Um, I feel like I I feel like I still communicated the same way. I would say that I still talk the same way, but at the same time, I feel like I just let things also be. Like I at some point last year, it did get to a point where I was just like, if that's how they're gonna act or play, or if I say something and that's how it's gonna be, that's how it's gonna be. And I feel like that's kind of why I am like how I am right now. Like I do still
Hmm.
understand, I still do have all the leadership skills I had before, and I still do know that I could put them in place. But at the same time, it's like I feel like when I do get to that point where I know that everybody looks at me this way, that's when I start putting added pressure on myself. So it's like at the same time, like at this point I am right now, it's like I do want to do more in that aspects of communicating with my team, but at the same time,
Hmm.
it does get kind of, I do get kind of worried because I know how I do start acting, or how I do my mental just starts getting when it does get to that place. So I think
Hmm.
at last year I had to step back. I still was saying what I needed to say, but I had to step back and say, not everything has to be on me. I don't always have to be saying this or doing that. Like not everything has to be, and not everything has to be that way.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because there's this guy who talks a lot about leadership, and he said, a lot of leaders, the worst sign of a leader is when things live and die with them. But a great leader makes other leaders around them. They
Mhm.
pass the baton on to the next leader, and that can possibly be the next move for your leadership. Is where, yes, you might be the front-facing leader, you might be the face of whatever leadership is for the team, but it can be some level of delegation to like, hey, I'm taking care of the guards, you take care of the bigs. Or I'm
Mhm.
taking care of this half of the team, you take care of that half of the team. And or to where, hey, today I need you to like make sure we on point with this. You know what I mean? So just
Mhm.
have pockets and moments to where it's team accountability and not just Samaya accountability for the
Yeah.
team. Because I was actually telling the guys I was coaching there at practice is like when a player messes up, it's not that player's fault.
Mhm.
It's your fault. because now we all look bad, coaches included.
Yeah.
Because we tell the guys we're doing X, Y, and Z. If somebody's outside looking in, this team looks bad. Coach,
Yeah.
what are you doing out here? So it doesn't matter that it was their fault. Everybody inside knows it's that player's fault, but we all look bad now. And so I hold them accountable, told each other accountable. So if Samaya messes up, it's on her teammate to check her. It's not Samaya's fault. It's not on Samaya to check everybody on the team. So that's something that I've been learning through myself of like, I don't like to be baby. I don't like for you to be micromanaging me. And I don't like to do that to other people. So I've kind of learned to have a level of like a standard and accountability to where you're checking yourself and we can check each other. And it's not like a babying thing, because I don't like doing that. And so now if you're messing up, I care about these 5 things. If we don't mess up these 5 things, we're cool. Outside of this, I'll give you a little leeway, but we're not messing up these 5. And so you can kind of figure it out for yourself where, okay, this is working, this isn't working. We're not going to do this. Like, if we do these 5 things, you know what's up. Like, come on, fam. Like, really? Like, you did that. Now I got to say something to you.
Yeah.
Or that the teammate next to you knows. So you can kind of figure that out to where it's not all the weight on you and you're still being a leader, just not 100% of the load on you. You kind of share that load. So do you feel like that's something you could kind of like look into that could probably help you out?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's actually like a really good idea. I feel like especially on the team we're on now, I feel like everyone should kind of be, like not everybody is a leader, but everyone has a say so. Everyone should be able to hold someone accountable. But at the same time, I feel like it is kind of hard when not everybody respects everybody. That's when it gets to like, the difficult part. But I do agree that I feel like it is way easier when it's more than just one person.
Yeah. Because you don't want to have all that weight on you,
Yeah.
especially when you said, like you said before, you had the breakdown, you had your lowest point, you had that valley. So now it's just like really setting guards and like bumpers in case, like, hey, I'm not going to go here again. So I start hitting this wall, I'm bouncing back off because it's not all that weight on me now.
Yeah.
And it's like I have teammates to help me out and kind of share some of this load. So I think that's something you can kind of do, man, and just kind of keep yourself in the same space to where the team can perform a little bit better because it's not all the weight on you. So now you're performing basketball wise and mentally and in school now because you have a little bit less weight on you now. So hopefully that can help you out. Dang, I forgot my question. It's gonna be a good one too. Dang, you made me forget. Dang, Samaya, made me forget my question. What you doing, man?
Forgot what we were talking about. I remember you said you're gonna wait. You should have wrote it down.
No, I still remember that
Oh,
one. I
okay.
got 2 more I do want to ask you later, but it's another one I like thought of when you were speaking, but I forgot that one.
You're gonna remember it
So
in a
hopefully it
minute.
comes back.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But all right, okay, another time out. Okay, look, if you got to this point, you have to be enjoying the episode. Like you have to. At this point in the episode, you're enjoying it. So help me help you. Just if you're on Apple right now and you're on your phone, okay, just take your phone, press the subscribe button. It's right there. Just do that with me. Even if on your laptop, take your mouse, boom, click over, boom, do your thing. Now you subscribe. Now you linked in because you don't want to miss the next great episode that I have. But doing stuff like this helps the episode grow, makes the show grow, and the podcast grow so I can keep getting great guests and keep doing great interviews. So if you listen on Apple or Spotify, take a second, look at your phone, press the follow button, okay? And share with a friend or two because you'll find the value in this. You want to have this conversation with your friends so they can have the same value. Now the whole basketball community can grow. All right. Thanks for listening so far. I'm gonna get out your way. Let's get back to the episode. Appreciate you. I'm gonna do that one next. Through all the work you've put in to be at this point where you're at now, and through the highs and the lows, the early gym hours before school, after school, probably during school, knowing how, high school stuff gets in. The breakdown at state, the loss, all the losing streaks. Would you say everything has been worth it at this point?
Right now, right now at this moment, if you ask me, I would tell you yes. If you would have asked me, like last year, I in my senior year, I honestly would have probably told you no. My senior year and last year, I definitely fell out of love with basketball. It was just me playing because what else am I gonna do? Like I felt like
Mm,
if I were to quit basketball my freshman year or last year, I felt like I wouldn't have been Samaya anymore. Because it's like if you ask someone, Samaya, oh yeah, Hazel Green, basketball. I felt like basketball was my identity. And so
mm,
freshman through senior and sophomore year, I definitely would have told you it was not worth it, but there was no other choice for me to make because it did get just so stressful and hard. It was like, this isn't fun for me anymore. This is a job. This is like, this is, I'm just doing this to please everybody else. I'm doing this because I don't want to let down people. That's what it got to. And so now it is, I am starting to, I'm doing this because that little girl that played, she loved that sport when she first played it. And now I'm starting to get back to, okay, yeah, that's why I'm playing, because that one time I did play, I did love basketball. And it is getting back to that where it's starting to be more fun again. And I do enjoy it. But I feel like, honestly, a lot of athletes go through that moment of, I don't think I love my sport anymore. Like, and it's because like it's hard. It's hard just having to feel like you have to be perfect and excelling in school, and at the same time still trying to make that social life. So it does get hard where it's like, why am I doing this? Or but if I
mm,
quit, who am I then? So it was
mm,
like that moment of, okay, Samaya, just keep going, because hopefully, you're going to remember why you're playing. And I am starting to realize that now. So now I would tell you, yes, everything's been worth it. It did get to a point where I had to just mentally tell myself every day, like one day you're going to be back to a point where it's going to be worth it again. But that span of
mm,
time when it wasn't, it was so hard. And I do feel like a big reason of why I felt like a failure is because I the biggest reason last year was I really felt like I was letting down my parents if I were to quit basketball. That was the biggest thing
mm,
for me. And like I never really felt like I was letting down my teammates. Like that never was a thing for me. Every time I would think about like not doing good in basketball or not excelling in this or not excelling in this or not being who the best I was, it always came down to my parents. Like I'm letting them down. It's what it always was. And so it did get to a point where I finally did have to have that conversation with them. I was like, I think I put added stress on myself because like I feel like I'm letting you guys down. So it did get to a point where they had a conversation with me and they was like, we don't expect you to be perfect. We don't always expect you
mm,
to do all of these things. And they never have communicated that with me of, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. But I also feel like it's just how I grew up. I always did excel and I always was good at this and I always did great at this. I always did. So when I got to that point of, oh, I'm not doing good anymore, what are they going to think about
mm,
me? And
mm,
so it got to a point where I was like, I don't think this is worth it, but I'm letting down everybody else. But now I would definitely tell you, yes, everything's been worth it. And I'm glad that I had to, I'm glad I went to Hazel Green to understand how it feels to win and understand how to win and understand how things are supposed to go, even in like the real world, how to work with people in different aspects and how to get them to listen to you. And then I'm glad I went to state where I was in an environment where I could go through that, having to understand how it felt when not everybody gets along. Not everybody does this. Not everybody's gonna want to listen to you, want to be your friend, want to do this, want to be perfect with you. Like not everybody's gonna want that. And I'm honestly grateful for going through the little depressive episode I did going through that, having to deal with my anxiety and things, because now I feel like I am able to help other athletes, even my teammates now. Like I'm able to help, like, hey, I know what you're feeling. I've gone through that too. Even outside of just
mm,
the sports, just people going through that. I'm able to actually understand that deeply because I went through that myself. So I feel like everything that I have gone through, everything's been worth it and everything's been a plan. I feel like everything that I've gone through, going to state, everything, it was like God's plan of He's putting me in places to help other people, not just from basketball, just helping people in life in general.
Mm. Yeah, that's dope, man, because a lot of times players hit that wall or they hit that rock bottom and they don't bounce back out and they don't recover well and get to a place where they can start, getting back into it. Some
Mm-hmm.
people fall out of love with the game and they never get back into it. So I'm glad you're there. I remember my question now, so I'm gonna ask this now. Um, what did you kind of change or add to your life? Like you said, it was home, school, and basketball, and
Mm-hmm.
that was like your circle of life. Um, Lion King, it's funny. Um, you weren't supposed to laugh. Um,
Sorry.
so what did you add to your life at that point to kind of spice it up and kind of like get you on track mentally?
Last year I started doing podcasts. I not with other people, but I would talk myself. I would just talk. I would talk about different scriptures. I would talk about what I was going through the day. I would talk about how I feel like God's plan is working for me. I would talk about my mental health. I would give stories of like myself because I feel like at that time last year people didn't really see me as for who I was. It was just basketball. Somebody's basketball. Somebody's this. Somebody's that. So I feel like really doing something else and talking about myself outside of just basketball really helped me, and to know that other people were listening, or other people were going through the same thing, or other people were behind me understanding, okay, we get it. We get seeing that other people knew that I wasn't this perfect person, and actually seeing it with my own eyes helped me, because I feel like even if people did tell me, hey, we don't expect you to do this, we don't like it was still like that process in my head, like, you're saying that but you don't mean it. And so
Mm,
me just being able to talk everything that I was feeling and going through and being able to do those things helped me. And then um that got really busy. But then when I got here to state, I have now started videos where I interviewed different athletes and I just talk about their journey through their sports, how they felt, just how they felt going through all of their sports journey outside of their sports, just to get to know the athlete outside of the athlete. And so doing
mm,
all of those things, like just being able to talk to different people and just putting it out there, that's really helped me, because I feel like at the same time, it's still me being the helper I am, but at the same time, I'm doing it for me at the same time. So it's kind of, I'm getting
mm.
both parts done, and so I really feel like that helps me.
That's dope, man. I ain't know you were podcasting. You should have told me, man.
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
posted a,
doing my
I
podcast.
know, but I haven't posted a video on there in a long time because I'll be getting sidetracked. So I just started that other little JSU sports spotlight thing, but that's been fun. I've done like maybe four so far because I just started it, but that's been fun, and having to just think about different stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's dope, man. So, y'all gotta check that out, man. I'm gonna have to look into it and see what you're doing over there, man. Um, I think I want to wrap it up on this note. With everything you've been through at Hazel Green, with the highs and lows of state, and being at this position you're at now with Jacksonville, what does success mean to you?
ooh, that's a good question. Success to me, I feel like it is now. I feel like success to me is being able to say that I have grown from what I started with. If you would have asked me at Hazel Green, I think it would have been getting to that final goal. But now I have a goal and I do set it, but I like to look at where I was when I did set that goal to where I am now. Because sometimes, it takes longer to meet it. It takes longer to meet that goal. You're wherever you want it to be. It takes longer, and you have to look at where you're at now. And I feel like a lot of people do get stuck in that. I still don't have this. I'm still not where I want to be. But it's like where you were when you first did have
Mm,
that goal, did want to be where you are. You've grown so much from that now. So I think success for me now is just being able to say that I have grown, that I have changed, that I am getting closer to that where I want to be. Because I feel like, to me, I'm never always going to be where I want to be because of just how I always like things to be. So to me, it's just being able to say that I have grown from where I was when I first said what I wanted to do, or when I first was doing something that I wanted to do. Just being able to say that I have grown as a person, changed my mindset's changed. Everything that I was doing before is just different now.
Mm. I love that answer. Um, Mainly because that goes in line with like what my brain is about. You feel me? It's progress is the only goal. Is really just removing that end goal that we all think we have,
Mm-hmm.
and like throwing that completely away. Like you don't even have that goal anymore. And the goal now is to just make
Yeah.
progress. Like the goal is to just get better. Be better today than I was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Be better tomorrow than I was today. And over time, you start making more tweaks. You make more adjustments. So, okay, we lost by 50. Sheesh, that's
Yeah.
tough. Okay, cool. The goal's not to win anymore. Forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the goal's not to win. Can we lose by less?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we made progress. We lost by 30. Okay, we did something better. All right, cool. Can we lose by 15 next game? All right, cool. Now let's make it more competitive. Can we lose by less than 10? All right, okay, now we're in the game. Now we're looking to get a win.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're looking to do better. But if you try to go from losing by 50 to getting the win,
Yeah.
it's looking real hard. But you make the baby steps, start making more progress to that goal. Now you can start redefining what success is. So yeah, you're going on a losing streak, but shoot, internally we've had success
Yeah.
now because the goal is to not lose by 50 again. We're not doing that. Okay, the goal is just to make progress. Can we clean up these specific things? We lost by 50 because we had dumb turnovers, we missed easy layups, and we missed free throws. That's pretty much any team they'll say that, that's like the holy trinity of how to lose a game. You feel me?
Yeah.
So if you can clean up these three, all right, cool. And for me personally, the funniest coaches and the best coaches are the one that say, if we do A, B, and C right, we're going to win this game. We'll win it by this amount. And when you see you do or don't do these things and they're exactly right, that's the funniest thing. I did that one time. I'm not that great of a coach, so don't try to put me up there. But it is cool when you be like, all right, if we can do these three things, I guarantee you'll win by about 12. And then you lose by 8, and you start playing it back. How many free throws did you miss? You missed 2. How many free throws did you miss? She missed 1. How many free throws did you miss? You missed 1. I said if we did everything right, we would have won by 12. We only had 8, so we were 4 short. We would have won the game. And it's like, dang. And that's like a synopsis or like a small piece of what progress on the goal is. It's about taking the right
Yeah.
steps to get better and go towards your goal. So forget about trying to win the game. It's about doing these right things to make the progress to get better to that goal. So small little, plug in there.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's like, but I love that definition. I really like that a lot because it takes away the mental angst and like the mental pressure of everything you want to do and get towards now. So I'm really happy for you, man. I'm glad you're in a better mental state. I'm glad that you're changing your perspective and how you see the
Mm-hmm.
game and see yourself and see life. So um I hope that the people got more of a glimpse into who you are, your journey in your life. So now they can see you more as a human being and not just a basketball player. So anything else you want to give the people before we get out of here?
No, probably just life is hard. Just you got to keep going. It's tricky. I feel like everybody's going to grow differently and at different paces. It's just learning to accept that and learning to accept how you are and then and how you are now, and just learning to accept that everyone's mental aspects are different. Everyone looks at things differently. You just have to see that not everybody's the same. So you have to learn differently, and you have to be willing to change and be willing to look at things differently. So yeah.
Mm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from her. You guys need to change your perspective and you learn and grow from there. So if you guys want to learn and grow a little bit more, you guys can learn how to press that subscribe button below. If you're on YouTube, that'll be you're not supposed to laugh. Come on, man. You learn to hit that subscribe button below. Let me get my corny jokes off, okay? Let me just this is my
Mhm.
entertainment during the interview, so I just be like super corny and it's like my whole spiel. I don't know why I do it, but I like it, so that's why. Yeah, learn to hit the subscribe button below. All of her fans, y'all like be a fan of this podcast now because she dropped a whole lot of game. Like that
Yeah,
was a lot.
and I
She
think you
opened up
guys
and
should
shared her
follow
story.
JSU Sportlight. JSU Sports Spotlight. Follow.
Do it. You feel me? Like she said so. See, I gotta
Yeah.
do it now. I didn't say it. She said it. But I co-sign what she said, so follow them too. Like you gotta do that. So show some love. You feel me? Just subscribe. That's all it is. Whether you on YouTube, whether you're on Spotify, or Apple, or wherever else, just subscribe, follow along, because you don't want to miss other dope interviews like her. 'Cause that was a good one. She did her thing. So follow along there. Follow her on social media. Um, what's all your socials? You got
And
it.
my Instagram
You have
is
all of them.
Samaya_Steele. Pretty sure that's what my
Mhm.
TikTok is. I think that's all of my stuff is the same. Yeah. All of
Okay,
it's the same.
we'll get that taken care
Yeah.
of. Yeah, I have all the stuff below for you guys, so you can lock in with her and just let her know, like, hey, saw you on the BeBall Jones podcast. You were
Yeah.
amazing, and go to the games and tell her in person will be even better.
Yeah.
So
Make a
show some
sign.
love, show some
Make
support.
a sign for real.
Yeah, do that. That'd be fire. Like if you had a sign made for, I know you had to.
My
You've had a sign
mom.
made for you, right?
I had a big head one time.
Mom counts, but don't
I had a
count.
big head. I had a big head one time.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
fire. You liked it?
No. But it was but it was cool, I guess.
I don't think I like that if that was me. I feel weird
Yeah.
about that. I
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I feel you on that one. But so go to the game, make a sign, not a big head, and just show us some love that way. Don't do the big head stuff. Just let her know, like, yo, I support you. Glad you're doing well, and you know, show us some love that way. I think that's it. Oh, you can follow me on social media too, or don't. It's
I think
cool.
you got show.
At BeBall Jones. I mean, it's cool. I don't feel away if you don't, because
I will
social media is not
I will
real.
feel a type of way if you guys don't follow me.
Okay. No, I'm talking about follow me. Just follow her for sure. Like follow you, but
You
don't
need
follow
more
me. It's
followers
cool.
for real. Then you're just gonna go big and just start interviewing everybody. So follow
You're right.
you.
It's hard for me to care about social media. Yeah, it's hard for me to care about social media though. Like I try, but then I don't try sometimes, and it's a whole thing. I have to sort through it because I like real life stuff. But I say it, but I tell them they don't have to because I get it. So
Yeah.
it's whatever. But if you do want to follow me, it's BeBall Jones everywhere. It's BeBall Jones. I'll pop up. I'm there. That's my name. That's who I am. It's me. So I'm gonna pop up. That's kind of how it works. Um,
If you guys
I think that's
follow
it.
me,
Oh, and
also you can buy my merch. It's in my bio.
bro, you slipping? Why ain't you
You
bro? Okay, tell us about the
okay?
merch. You slipping?
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you my hoodie. Hold on. Wait, like 5 seconds.
She's not even wearing the hoodie,
I
guys. What
know.
is
I know.
okay?
I
Oh
don't even
man.
have it on.
Oh my goodness. You all right. Market okay, I'm gonna give you guys a quick marketing tip while she's doing that. Marketing 101. Wear your stuff. Okay. As you see, I'm always wearing my stuff. Either it's the Progress Tee podcast stuff or like my B-Ball Jones stuff. Very rarely do I wear something else outside of those things. Very rarely. I'm not ripping other brands to start paying me for real. But wear your stuff, guys, or have it very like available to get because this is very poor marketing for her brand. I don't know why she did that. She should have just. Matter of fact, now I'm charging her for a manager's fee
You know.
because
You
she's
know why
was
I
a.
didn't wear it? Because I think I don't even know where it is at.
That's even worse. Like, how do you? Okay, that's sad.
But
All right,
we've been gone for so long, and I just lost everything.
uh, I don't want to hear this. This sounds like a very poor excuse. Um, yeah, she's gonna get an invoice for my manager's fee because this is bad. I'm going to start coaching her. When you start doing better, guys know that my coaching skills kicked in, and I've changed up her marketing on how to be presentable for your brand. Like you can't be slipping without your brand. You're talking about wearing clothing brands. So
It is. That is. I don't know. I
rookies.
think my teammate has it.
Hmm.
Okay, well, it's
Mm-mm.
in my bio, guys. So you really don't even need to see it right now. It's just gonna be a surprise when you see it in my bio because it's in my bio and it's pinned.
That's funny.
But
I guess it's gonna be a
I
surprise.
can just tell you, it says be you, and it has my name on the thing. Because be you, be
Hmm.
yourself, and that's really big for me because I had to learn to just be myself and be who I was. So We have
Mm.
hoodies, shirts, and the little sweater things
Mhm.
without the hoodies. It's in my bio, everybody. You didn't get to see it here, so just go click on there so you can see it. Because I don't know.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry she's not presentable here. She's gonna come to the marketing school of BeBall Jones, and when she like presents better, just know that she came to my school and she's gonna do better now because
Yeah.
we did so good.
Yeah.
We did so good. You were amazing. This was an awesome interview, and you wait till the end to just like
I
backtrack.
really forgot. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should have said something about that. I forgot.
Oh man.
But it's
Okay.
okay.
I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna find something and I'm gonna throw it in here somewhere. So good
You can
grief.
find it.
This is sad.
It's on my Instagram. It's pinned.
I'm gonna have it in the link below. Y'all find the link
That is
below.
so
Show us some love there.
crazy. I
So
can't even find it.
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all just wasted so much time hearing me rattle on about
Yeah.
her while she couldn't find it. So oh man. She did so well, guys, and she went to the end, just kinda like she took 10 steps forward and just like 3 steps back right there.
No, that was a great
Man,
example
that is something.
of not everybody is perfect. You lose some things sometimes.
You're trying to recover, but it's not working for me. It's no,
It's okay. Just put it in the bio.
no.
Just put it in there.
I will. I'm gonna have it below,
Okay, thank you.
guys. This is what teamwork is. Okay, it's not all on her. I step up. I step up to the plate, and I help her out. She ain't the ball ain't any hitting for. It's clinging off the rim pretty hard. So I'm just coming in. You know, she can't drop 20 tonight, so I'm stepping up right now. I'm adding a couple extra. I usually average 10, but now I got to put up 15 because she's slipping a little bit. So we got the teamwork here for you guys. So
I
it's gonna be below
appreciate
if
that.
you want to support her. Yeah, I got you, man. So, um, you want to show some love, show some support. In spite of her poor marketing skills, we're gonna like support her anyway, and let her know that I want to. Okay, I want to be me as well as you be you.
That was good.
I said it right.
That
Hey,
was good.
hey.
Yeah,
Now I need 2% on every sale that
I
comes from
got
here
you.
now. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, show us some love in spite of this poor marketing exhibit that we got for like the past 5 minutes. Um, it's a nice message. Hopefully, it's a nice design. We don't know because not prepared, but we'll find out. We'll find out together. Like I said, it's a surprise. So I hope you guys enjoy surprises. If not, I don't know what to tell you. Um, my shirt's not a surprise. You see, I got 2 designs, so this is one of them. You know, I'm prepared, unlike other people. So you guys can, buy both of them, buy mine, buy hers, and just be a big buying happy family. And what else do I have to share? Oh, every Friday, I like the mental game. You know, it's important for hoopers. We just talked about her mental health and everything. I like to talk about that on every Friday. It's called Hoop Gems. Just like a quick 5 minutes of your time. Either give you mental how to's or something to kind of change your perspective around the game, see things a little bit differently, or a little inspiration, motivation to get you on about your day. So if you guys enjoy that, which you should, because why not? It's gonna help you be a better hooper. Tune in every Friday, listen to it, and just be more amazing, make more progress throughout your life. And so that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you for coming on, Miss
Thank
Steele.
you.
And that's it, man. Hopefully see y'all again next week. See you.